Hello, Manchester Karate Studio. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Crystal Karen, and I've been practicing yoga for over 20 years. My daughter Chloe has been a student at the studio for about 6 years, and I've noticed some links between yoga and karate, and I'm hoping that this short video benefits your karate practice. So, let's begin. We're going to start in a comfortable cross-legged position. So you see I have a blanket here. That's not necessary, but can help elevate the hips a little higher than the knees when seated. So you can take either one leg up on top or just keeping the legs a little more open if you don't have the flexibility or ability in your knees. So sitting up nice and tall, we'll ground down through the hips, and then we'll lengthen up through the crown of the head. So we're going to start seated and just having a few mindful breaths. So that is one connection, yoga and karate. In karate, we talk about making sure you're exhaling, your ki-eyes, you're forcing your exhale. In yoga, we focus a lot on the breath. So the poses that we're going to do are one aspect of yoga, but the breath work, the connection with your breath is just as important. So, closing your eyes, sitting up nice and tall, pulling that low belly in, lengthening up through the crown of the head, closing the eyes and bringing your attention inward. So from an outward focus to an inward focus. Nice deep breath in and exhale. So we'll take a few inhales through the nose, exhale through the mouth, maybe a big kind of sigh, pushing any negativity out on that exhale. Inhale in, open the mouth, sigh it out. Good, another. Last time. Good, now continuing to breathe, but on that exhale, keep the mouth closed and exhale through the nostrils. Inhale and exhale. So slowing the breath down, being very mindful of that inhale and exhale. Maybe noticing that when you inhale, your breath is cool on your nostrils, and as you exhale, the heat, the energy from your body warms your breath as you exhale. Noticing if your back is starting to round, shoulders are starting to droop, sitting up nice and tall. I promise just a few more seconds here and we'll bring in some movement. Good, let's bring the chin to the chest. Feeling the stretch in the back of the neck. Maybe waving just gently to release the back of the neck. We hold a lot of tension in our neck and upper traps. Good, and then we're going to circle around. So bringing the chin to the right shoulder, up, over to the left shoulder, and down. Some gentle head circles. So you can synchronize your breath with this movement. So inhale as you're coming up. Exhale as you're rounding and coming down. Continuing at your own pace. Again, back is nice and straight, belly's pulled in, shoulders are down and away from your ears. Continuing that circular motion. Feel free to pause and stop anywhere that might feel a little tighter, a little more tense. Good, now next time you reach center, let's reverse direction. So inhale over to the left, back, and exhale as we round and come down. So again, continuing at your own pace, nice and slow, noticing that breath as you're going through the movements. And all my cues are just suggestions. So yoga is really about more getting into your own body, feeling the sensations in your body, noticing what your body might need on that particular day. Feel free to move or make adjustments any way that are necessary for you. Yoga should never, ever hurt. Good, so back to center, and we'll lift the chin up, and we're gonna take a nice easy twist. So bringing the right hand onto the left knee, inhale, lengthen up, exhale, twisting on over to the left side. So it's a little harder to breathe and twist, so really focusing on the breath here. Inhaling, lengthening, exhale, twisting. Good. Back through center, over to the other side. Left hand on right knee, inhale, lengthen up, exhale, twisting on over. Good, deep breath here. Good, and back to center. So we're gonna come onto all fours now. Moving the blanket away if you do have one. The blanket is helpful to bring the hips up a little higher than the knees, but it's not necessary. And I should have mentioned, if you have a yoga mat, that helps to keep you from sliding. If you have socks on a wooden floor, you're gonna slip and slide even more. You wanna try to get a sticky surface, so when we're doing anything on the floor, you're not sliding at all. Okay, so tabletop position. Your wrists are gonna be right over your shoulders, and your knees are gonna be right over your hips. So nice 90-degree angles. Turn that heater off so you can hear me a little better. Good. Tabletop position. So we're going to wave through. These are called cat and cow poses. So we inhale, drop the belly, looking up, so creating space in the front of the body. Inhaling, exhaling, rounding the spine, tucking the tail, tucking the chin. This is cat, like a scared cat rounding its back. Inhale up, exhale down. Very good. Inhale up, exhale down. Good. Inhale up. Toes can be curled under if you choose, or feet flat on the mat. Rounding down. So really have that breath start the movement. So as you inhale, you're creating space in the front of your body, looking up. Your exhale, start that exhale first, then start to round the spine, tuck the tail, tuck the chin, really squeezing those abs in. Exhale. Inhale, one more cycle. Exhale, round. Good. Back through our neutral spine now. We're going to curl the toes under. We're going to come into a downward dog. So this is a very common pose in yoga. Spread through the fingers nice and wide though. So creating a nice sturdy base in your hands. Spreading the fingers wide helps distribute the weight evenly into the wrists, keeping the wrists safe. Good. Curls, toes curled under. We lift the hips up and we push into our hands to bring the weight back more towards our heels. Good, so feel free to take any movement here, maybe bend through one knee and then the other. Stretching one side, then the other. Good, then push into the hands, bringing the chest back towards the back of the mat. Head in line with the arms. Deep breath here. So downward dog should be a restful pose. If you ever need more of a rest than downward dog, you can come into child's pose, which is just dropping the knees down and sitting back over the heels. Good, but if you can stay in your downward dog, then going there. Good. I tend to move around a little bit more, feeling where my body needs to stretch, or just taking some stillness. Okay, some more movement. So looking forward towards your hands. You can walk those feet to meet the hands, hanging in a forward fold here. Good, so we inhale, get lots of length, and exhale, fold over your legs. So you stretch a lot in karate and forward folds, working to lengthen those hamstrings, get those kicks nice and high. Good, again, bending through one knee and then the other. Maybe gently shaking the head, yes and no, releasing the neck. Think of releasing from the hip all the way up to the top of the head.
See if you can allow gravity to help pull those vertebrae apart, creating some space and length. Good, deep breath here. Inhale, exhale. Good, so we're gonna round up. So you can come right up if that feels all right for you. Otherwise, you can bend your knees, bring your hands onto your hips, and roll up. Stacking one vertebrae on top of the next. Good, head comes up last. Good. I'm going to turn to face the camera. So mountain pose. It's our standing pose. It looks like we're just standing here, but it's actually very active. So grounding through the feet, actually spreading those toes nice and wide, almost creating like suction cups onto your mat. Good. Now engaging the legs, so pulling the kneecaps up to engage the legs. Your thighs are turned on. Your belly's your belly is nice and strong. Turn the palms of your hands out, which helps rotate the shoulders down and back. Good. Again, lengthening through the top of your head. So it's those opposing forces. You're lengthening, yet you're grounding down through your feet. Good. Deep breath here. Again, maybe closing the eyes, drawing your attention inward. So focusing on our breath gives our mind something to think about. It's very hard to just completely take all those thoughts out of our minds, especially right now, right? We're being bombarded with all sorts of news flashes, all sorts of stuff. So drawing the attention inward, focusing on your breath, gives your mind something to think about. Good. One more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Good. We're going to move through a few standing postures now. So I'm going to come to the top of my mat. I would like you to as well. Again, grounding through your feet. And we're going to step back with the left foot. Good. So these are good warrior poses. We're going to move through 3 different warrior poses. This is warrior 1. In warrior 1, your hips are square to the front of your mat. You're going to bend into that front leg. So you really want to feel the strength of your legs here. These are good strength builders for your legs. Good. Hips facing forward. Your front foot is straight ahead, and that back foot is kind of at a 45-degree angle. So hands can just stay here at heart center in a prayer position, or more challenging is to lift the arms up. So go for straight arms, nice straight elbows. You can bring the arms forward if that's more comfortable in your shoulders, or lift the arms straight up. Good, deep breath. So again, those opposing forces, lengthening up through the arms, grounding down through the feet. Good, deep breath here. One more. Good. Deep inhale. Exhale, warrior 2. So we open the arms up to the side. This time the hips open up. So hips are facing towards the side of the mat. Arms extend long in either direction. Now think of opening up through the shoulder blades. So we're having the lengthening up, the grounding down, and now this lateral reach with the arms. This is one of my favorite poses. And in karate, you talk a lot about which direction you should be looking for the attacker, or which direction your gaze is. We do the same in yoga. So right now the gaze is over that front hand. Good. Maybe grounding down just a little bit deeper. Deep breath. And now we're going to reverse our warrior. So reverse warrior, arm lifts up. Good, creating space all on the right side. Again, you see I'm automatically gazing up. If that's not good for balance for you, then you can look down at that back foot or wherever's comfortable for you. Good, deep breath. Lengthen, lengthen, ground down. Focusing on the breath here. Noticing if thoughts are starting to creep in. Good, one more inhale. Exhale, we'll come back through our warrior two, and we're gonna turn and walk that front foot right up to the mat, top of the mat. Good. So I am going to change sides so that you can see me and my back is not facing you. Good. Back to our mountain pose. That's where we come back to reconnect with our breath. Deep breath here. Okay, same three poses, other side. Step back with your right foot now. Again, squaring those hips to the front of your mat. Think of tucking that pelvis under just slightly to engage that core. Good, again, hands can be right at heart center, bending into that front leg, or extending arms up or forward. Whatever feels right in your shoulders. Good, deep breath here. Grounding down in through those legs, reaching up or extending up through the crown of the head. Good, one more breath here. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Open up those hips to the side of your mat now. Reach long with those arms. Think of rolling the shoulder blades down and back. Sometimes I'll turn my palms up just to get that rotation in the shoulder. Then keep the shoulders there as you just turn the hands back. Good. Grounding down deep into that front leg. Feel the strength in your legs. And then breathe. Good. Inhale, reverse that warrior, reaching up. Lots of length through the left side now. Deep breath. Inhale, exhale, back through our warrior two. Good, this time instead of stepping to the front of the mat, we're just going to turn to the side of our mat. We're going to do a wide-legged forward fold. So turning the toes in slightly. Let's bring hands on hips. So I want you to think of folding. So a lot of times we just round the back to fold forward, right? So a little bit different approach here. You're like two boards, two straight boards. Your legs are nice and straight and strong. So engage the legs, and we're going to hinge just from the hips. Try to keep your back as straight as you can as you fold. Good. I should have mentioned earlier, if you have blocks, this is a good time for blocks to come in, or you can bring books, any sort of props you can find around your house if you don't have blocks. So back is nice and straight, hinging from the hips. Maybe you can reach all the way to the floor. Deep breath. So in this forward fold, we're going to hold it for a few breaths, but I want you to think of your breath. So your inhale, you're lengthening, you exhale, you're folding. So it looks like we're stationary and just holding the pose, but actually because of our breath, there's movement. So we inhale length, exhale fold. Inhale length, exhale fold. Good, feel free to sway the hips side to side. Again, making it your practice. Inhale length, exhale fold. Good. Let's bring hands back onto hips. So you can roll through that, your back like we did when our legs were together, bending the knees, bringing the hands on hips, or challenge yourself. Try to come up with a straight back, just the same way we went down. Good. Core is nice and strong, protecting that lower back. Good. Now we will turn and step to the top of our mat. Tadasana, mountain pose. Reconnecting with your breath. Deep breath in. Feel those sensations in your body just from that movement. Good. Let's practice a little balance here. Tree pose. Ground down through that left foot as if you're growing roots. We're going to become trees. Trees have roots. Root that left foot down. Hands can start on hips. So the right foot is going to come up. Right knee opens up. So this is really opening through this right side.
So your foot can be a kickstand, your foot can come up onto your calf, kind of the indentation of your insole kind of lining that calf muscle. Or if you feel like you are really balanced today, you can bring that foot up to your thigh. You just want to avoid the knee. We don't want to put any lateral pressure on the knee joint. Good. So standing tall, I'm going to bring my foot back down here. Again, kickstand's great if you need a little extra balance. Deep breath. Feel all those little micro movements in your foot. That's all those little muscles strengthening, which will help again in your karate practice. Good. Growing branches if you choose. Hands can stay at heart center, or you grow branches. Some days are windier than others. Some days we fall out. Some days we're a strong, strong tree. Good. Again, gaze can be up or down depending upon your balance. Deep breath. Inhale, exhale. One more. Exhale. Good. And lower down. Switching sides. Growing roots on that right foot now. Really spreading through the toes, kind of spreading out the foot to make it as wide and as strong as a base as possible. Now left thigh opening up, left hip opening up, either that kickstand onto the calf or up onto the thigh. You'll be amazed at how different sides can be. So maybe test the thigh on this side, or maybe testing the calf, wherever you feel you are today. Good. Staying here. Core's pulled in strong. Core's always on, right? There's core focused yoga, which is kind of redundant because your core should always be pulled in and strong. Good. Growing branches if you choose. Deep breath in. Shoulders are down and away from your ears. Don't crunch them up. Keep them down and away. Good. Tree pose. Spread through those fingers. Even bigger branches. Deep breath. Exhale, lowering down. Good. We're going to make our way onto the mat now. So we'll come back into our mountain pose. We'll inhale, lift arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Good. Hands come onto the mat. Let's step the feet back into a plank position. So all those push-ups you need to do to get your black belt, planks can help to get you there. So really pushing the mat away. Again, strong foundation in the hands. Bringing the weight maybe a little more forward. Good. Deep breath. And then we're going to lower down nice and slow. Hugging those triceps in, bending the elbows behind you. How slow can you lower down? Good. Whew. Deep breath in. Good. Now push into your hands. Come into a child's pose. So sitting back over the heels, stretching the arms up overhead. Head drops down. Again, reconnecting with the breath. Deep breath. And sitting back up. Good. I'm going to turn to face the camera. But you can do the long way on your mat if you're on a mat. So our Dandasana mountain pose was when we were standing. This is our seated mountain pose. So pulling the tops of the feet back towards you. Hands are on either side of your sit bones. So again, really engaging those legs. Lift those kneecaps up to engage the legs. Think of sitting up nice and tall. So again, two boards, belly's pulled in. Hands are here on either side of you as a measurement for how tall you can get your spine. Good. Dandasana. So the names of the poses you hear me saying are the Sanskrit names. Good. Deep breath. Tucking the chin and drawing the attention inward. So it looks like we're just sitting here, but it's actually very active. Shoulders pulled away from the ears, legs engaged.
Good, bringing a little movement in here. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, fold, just like we did in that wide-legged fold. 2 boards, back nice and strong. Deep breath in, length, exhale, fold. Good, deep breath in, exhale, fold. Good, again, you see this is lengthening those hamstrings. Keeping those legs engaged, pulling the tops of the feet back towards your face. So a lot of times the feet just want to flop out or in, right? Try to keep those legs engaged. It makes it more challenging. Good, inhale, coming back up. We're going to take a boat pose. So this is a good core strengthener. So bending the knees, grabbing behind the thighs. So chest is lifted, nice straight spine. Tipping back just slightly to be able to lift the feet up off the floor. So your torso is kind of in a J shape. You're nice and straight, and then you're tucking that tail under just a little bit and engaging the belly. So typically this pose is done no hands, but if you need to hold on to those thighs, that's perfectly fine. Just feel where your belly catches. You want to keep that belly engaged. Arms can release. Legs can straighten if you can. That's super hard. Deep breath in. Good, so cross the legs, hands drop down. Lift the seat up for just a moment, giving the spine a little length, and back into our boat pose. We're going to do 3 of these. Deep breath in. Exhale. 1 more inhale. Exhale. Pushing back up. Good. So if you can keep your feet up as you push up, whew, that's hard. And all the power to you. Last boat pose. See if you can make it your fullest expression. Really straightening as much as you can. Deep breath. And we'll sink our boat down. Right to the floor. Good. I'm going to scoot down just a little bit. So we'll just do a couple back bends since we did all those forward folds. We always want to counter the movement, right? We're bending forward. Now we want to open up through the chest. So bridge pose. Knees are bent, feet are flat on the mat. Hands are on either side of you. So notice your pelvis, right? As you tip that pelvis towards you, that engages your belly. So just rolling through the pelvis a few times. And then on an inhale, we're going to push into the feet to lift the hips up towards the ceiling. Good. You can interlace the hands underneath you. You can keep the hands flat on the mat. But really engage the legs, engage the glutes to help lift the hips up nice and high. Keeping your gaze up towards the ceiling. You want to move your head around here. Good. Deep breath. Lifting up a little higher. You could also think of that you have a block between your thighs. Think of squeezing those thighs towards one another without actually moving them. We talk about an energetic movement. So it's the sensation that you have a block there, so you can't actually move your legs, but you're squeezing that block. Good. 1 more breath. Exhale, lowering down. Good. Feel free to hug the knees in, maybe rocking side to side. So back bends are great. You can do a couple more of those. Some other options, you can get a block or a blanket. Maybe a bolster or something higher and lay back over that to help open up through the chest. We are going to make our way into Shavasana. So Shavasana is the final pose in a yoga practice. It translates to corpse pose, which is a little morbid, but Shavasana is the point of the whole practice. So we do all these postures and breathing to get to a point where we can just fully relax. So maybe pause the video, get a nice comfortable blanket, feel free to get a pillow, put some socks on, whatever you need to do to feel as comfortable as you can. And then you get into a supine position. So right on your back, your legs can be straight, palms can be up towards the ceiling. Your knees can be bent, feet wide with knees dropping in. Whatever feels good to you. Getting into that comfortable position. I am going to sit up, but I want you to really focus your attention inward now. I'm going to turn a little bit of music on. And I want you to listen to the words. Listen to the words that I'm speaking, but then also don't focus so much on them. So drawing your attention inward, and still notice the sounds around you, but again, don't pay much attention to them. Feeling the air on your skin, feeling your clothes on your skin, feeling the support of the floor beneath you. And bringing your attention back to that breath. Nice, slow, easy breath. Maybe feeling the rise and the fall of your belly as you're breathing. I want you to bring to mind one particular thing you're grateful for. Maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a spouse, maybe it's a favorite place you've been to, maybe it's chocolate chip cookies. Whatever it might be, bring one thing that you are very grateful for to your mind. Just imagine yourself either with that person, at that place, with that thing, whatever it might be. Just having a moment of gratitude. Now allow the thought of that person, place, or thing to just fade. But keep that feeling of gratitude in your heart, in your mind. Good. Bringing your attention back to your breath. Deepening your breath. Maybe wiggling some fingers and toes, bringing a little movement back in. Stretching long. Or maybe crunching up into a little ball. And then rolling over onto your side and pushing back up to that seated position just like we started. Good, so we'll bring our hands together at heart center. Again, lengthening up through the crown of your head. Closing your eyes. Having one last moment to have that thought of gratitude, that feeling of gratitude. Namaste. Namaste means I bow to the light in you. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care.